English. I have been married to Larry for 34 years and we have 7 children. My oldest is now 31. My youngest is 15. And we also have a 10-year-old grandson. So we've been home educating since 1998, which makes it 23 years now. And we are only down to our youngest now home educating. So been doing it a little while. The Learn Free conference was born in 2011, which makes this our 10th anniversary conference. The first one was all organized in the space of about 6 weeks, along with the help of my local home ed group, Christian Home Educators Warwickshire, fondly known as CHEW. Many still refer to this conference as the CHEW Conference. The title Learn Free, as those of you who've been coming regularly will know, it comes from the old 1960s movie called Born Free, where a lioness had been raised in captivity and then was released into her natural habitat to live as she was meant to, as she was designed to. For me, when we make the choice to educate our children ourselves, we are able to release them to learn as they were created to and in a way that works best for them. There are some people who ask why you pay for Learn Free conference. I am sorry for that, but that wasn't how my thinking worked when I was thinking of a name for the conference. So running this conference is a little bit like choosing to home educate. Sometimes you really don't know how it's going to work out, but you have to take that leap of faith anyway because you feel it's the right thing to do. It can be downright nerve-wracking. It can be lonely. But once the decision is made, there's no looking back. Running a conference during a global pandemic offers a whole fresh set of challenges. But I believe it is even more important that we connect and support one another, which is why we have continued to run the conference and try and find the best way to do that. So that brings us to the Hoover app, which has been a really great solution. It's a place where conference can happen. When you come on your Hoover app, you're at the conference. For those of you who are using it for the first time, we hope that you're enjoying all the fun features. The app is the conference. It's where we come to be together and to experience conference together. So welcome here and welcome to all the forums and discussion groups on Hoover. So there are a few technical things that I need to comment on. By now, most of us are used. Okay, I think I was muted there for a bit. Just proves my point. We know that sometimes technology just doesn't work. It's not always what it's cracked up to be. So while we're on that note, I'm going to say, if you find yourself unmuted, please mute because our moderators are having a hard time, I think, just keeping up with who's muted and who isn't. So technology is not always what it's cracked up to be. We are at the mercy of our broadband providers, the age of our tech, and so on. If you think of every kind of phone, every kind of tablet, every kind of laptop, every kind of computer, and which version you have, Hoover, I think, have a hard time trying to keep up with every variation. So our support team and myself and Hoover, we can only help with so much. So please bear with us with grace and patience, and hopefully we will all still have a good time regardless. Remember that most of the live sessions are being recorded and you will be able to access them later if for any reason you can't get into the session you're trying to get into. And all of the speakers and the attendees, we are all on the app this week, so lots of opportunity to go and get your questions answered. So before I go any further, I really need to say some thank yous. Tutors and exams are top of my list. Without their help, I'm not sure it would have been possible to do this all again this year. I have had a great working relationship with Chris and Jenny Spraggett over at Tutors and Exams since they first set up in Coventry, my hometown, some years ago. And I'm so appreciative of their continued support for this event every year. Tutors and Exams have made it so much easier for many home educated children to access exams readily. We've used them for our younger children And it was just a pleasure to have peace of mind and know that everything was sorted and taken care of, and it's made our journey a lot less stressful. If you want to know more about the services that Tutors and Exams offer, they do have an exhibitors page on the app. And every day at 12 noon, you can go and pop into a live session with them to ask any questions that you have about home education and exams, or exams for private candidates and home educators. And they are our primary sponsor. I also want to thank Heidi Conway and Linda from Changemaker Teens for their donation to the conference. It is so appreciated. I've only just got to know Heidi this year, and she's joining us all the way from Australia, and she'll be presenting a session on Wednesday morning, as well as running a live session from the Changemaker Teens exhibitor booth on Thursday. Heidi is passionate about supporting self-directed learners. I've really enjoyed getting to know her, and I know you'll be encouraged by what she has to say. And while I'm talking about exhibitors, we have a wide range of exhibitors, all shapes and sizes. Some of them are just there to show you that they're there. So we have quite a few home education organizations or associations from different countries, just representing their country. But then we have some exhibitors that sell resources for home educators. They're offering promotions, competitions, that kind of thing. So go and have a look, go and visit them and see what they're all about. One of my page that I have is Bold and Free, and Bold and Free is the clothing that I designed for home educators, with fun, tongue-in-cheek sayings and hopefully conversation starters that your children can wear while they're out and about. So in preparing for this conference every year, I get to talk to some of the most amazing people. Home educators are amazing people. And I just want to say how much I love the home educating community. I really do. The people that I deal with, I don't know whether it's because we're all so independent-minded or what it is, but I think as a home educator, you know, so much thought goes into home education, and you have to approach it in a very thoughtful way. And I think it's perhaps that where we resonate with one another, because that process of thinking about education, thinking about our children, and that pulls us together. But I'm always taken aback by how the conference comes together, even when I sometimes don't have an idea of what direction I'm going in. It kind of all comes together. And when I was preparing, I was looking at what's been happening in the UK over the last few years. If you're an admin on a home ed group or anything like that, you're aware that the numbers of home educators have increased significantly over the last few years. And this is great, but it has meant that the government, education department, local authorities, social services, children's commissioners, and all of, just so many others have all decided to focus on home educators. And they've all taken it in turns to find ways to cast home education in a negative light, sometimes even bending the truth and ignoring solid evidence to the contrary. We've all read some newspaper headlines which just got our blood boiling, because we know that it's not true. And we also know that our current rights and freedoms are coming under threat. And we can no longer hope that those threats will simply go away as they have in the past. With that in mind, I felt that this year's conference needed to look at how we, as a home educating community, meet the challenges, find ways to reframe the narrative, and encourage one another to step out more boldly, more positively, to champion the rights of families to choose how their children are educated. It's not just about home education, it's about families, and about families having the freedom to choose how their children are educated. And so I decided to make the theme of this year's conference champions. And champions can mean a couple of things. The first thing is that we are the champions of our children. Rita Pearson said, "Every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists that they become the best that they can possibly be. Interestingly, the context that she is saying this in is as a teacher, but it's my belief is that parents are the primary champions for their children and should be the primary champions for their children. Often parents are the only ones listening and the only ones really concerned for their children and their future. Parents are uniquely placed to know their children intimately and to be 100% invested in their child's well-being and the adults they will become. The parent has the vocabulary and the knowledge and the experience to take on the adult world on behalf of their child. We know many home educators have almost reluctantly come to home education because nobody was listening to their child when their child was in school. Nobody was concerned for the outcomes of that for their child. And as the parent acting in that capacity as their child's champion, you've made that brave choice to bring your children out of school to home educate. And that is absolutely the right thing to do, and we applaud that. So I do want to give a special mention here to a lady by the name of Joy Baker. I don't know how many of you have heard about Joy Baker, but she was a very ordinary mum back in the 1950s who set a precedent for so many of us by taking advantage of the law which allows us to educate otherwise. She had to fight her battle in court. Her family had to go through a lot of harassment, a lot of bullying, a lot of intimidation. And her story is truly inspirational. I hope you will look out for plans that will be discussed at conference, that we are ways of honoring Joy Baker's legacy. So the other aspect of being a champion is that we should think about being champions for home education, the home educating community, and for the freedom of families to choose how their children are educated. To be a champion as we are out and about in the community, spreading the positive message that home education is a valid and positive educational choice. We have many people right here at Learn Free who are already doing that, and we really want to connect everyone together so we can grow stronger as a community and stronger as a movement. And that is really my heart, is to see people connect so that we can grow as a community and have a much louder voice. So thank you so much, every one of you, for being here and for supporting Learn Free. I want to encourage you to go back and tell your friends today. Tell them, come along, come and join us. There's so much good content. The program is fantastic. We have got a lot of international speakers compared to previous years, I should say. We have got lovely, quite a lot actually for teens, which I think is quite interesting, but I think it's partly because home education is coming of age in the UK, and a lot of the children are now in that, fall in that age group. So we have a substantial amount of really good sessions on self-directing teenagers and that kind of thing. And I hope you will make the most of it and draw on the wisdom of those sharing. We have a few attendees from other countries as well. So we've had some bookings come in from the USA, Australia, and my favorite is a lady who's booked in from Trinidad and Tobago. So please look out for them, give them a big warm welcome, and bring them into our community as well. Our keynote speaker, Dr. Brian Ray, who will be speaking at 4 p.m. He is one of the leading researchers in the United States on home education. He is an expert on home education, often gets called to be a witness in court, and passionate about families educating their children. And he will be sharing at 4 p.m. this afternoon. All of our evening sessions are of a more political nature because we do need to consider what is going on in the UK right now. We need to understand potential threats, and we need to inform ourselves as much as possible. So if you're able to pop into the evening sessions with our panelists, that would be really good to come and just get an update on what's going on. I'm trying to think who else I need to thank. I've got my lovely volunteers that I also couldn't manage without. Some of them are from CHU, but we also have Ruth Barber joining the team from Chess, and my daughter-in-law helps in the background behind the scenes. She'll be the one downloading all the recordings and putting the videos back into the Hoover app where you can access them later. And I'm very thankful for them, because even though I am already doing a lot with the conference, I can't do it all. So yeah, thankful for them. And very thankful to my family that are in the house, hopefully not using the internet too much, so that we can enjoy our conference and make the most of the broadband. And yeah, they kind of keep away and they keep quiet, and they really help a lot. So I want to thank my family. Another thing I'm really excited about, look out on the app. I have popped in here and there a little series called Meet the Home Educated. And these are young people who were home educated, are now either approaching adulthood or are adults already, some of them parents, and they are sharing what has become of them as adults. And I know you're going to enjoy those so much, and I'm very thankful that they took the time to do those recordings for us. I want to thank Hoover for their help. They are very responsive generally with support, and need to just thank them for helping us to run this event as well. We also have quite a good representation from Education Otherwise this year, and from the Center for Personalized Education. And they will be on the panels in the evenings talking about some of the political challenges. It's an interesting conference this year, because we are drawing actually from quite a wide range of home educators. The flavor is a little different. And I think it's important to understand that in home education, we have got so much diversity, so many people home educating for so many different reasons. But the one thing we have in common is that we all love home education. We all believe in home education for our children, and that's our common ground. So I'm going to ask that we keep all our discussion boards respectful, that we honor one another, we honor that everyone is coming from a different place, and work together when it comes to home education, because that is our strength, is when we work together and we all stand together. If we do face these challenges from the government, from the Department for Education, we do need to hold hands through that which we have in common. Okay, so as I've said, videos will be uploaded after the talk, so you can have full access to those. Then we also have a couple of competitions. So those of you who joined us last year, Hoover enables us to run some competitions. So I don't know if you knew, but we have a photo competition, and you can upload photographs there. I would personally prefer if there are photographs of you enjoying the conference, however you're enjoying the conference, or of your family or your children, if you want to uplift and encourage one another with a nice photo, that would be great. And the other thing is that we also have all the community boards, the discussion boards, and the more you participate, the more active you are, you get points. And we actually have a leaderboard. So if you are the winner on the leaderboard, you actually get a prize as well. And I, as the proprietor of Bold and Free, have kindly donated a couple of prizes from Bold and Free for those competitions. So you're welcome. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything I've left out, because there's always loads I want to say. But really, you know, it's always interesting when we finally arrive at conference day, and I have to put the nerves aside, put the worries aside, and just focus and throw myself in. with both feet. I did want to say we have a limited support team, so please bear with us if we don't get back to you immediately. My daughter-in-law, Jade, will be helping with tech support, and the email address for that is support@learnfree.org.uk. So if you need tech support, go to her first. If she can't help you, she'll come back. She'll pass it on to me. But we are very frantically busy here all the time, so please bear with and see if you can help each other out as well with any little queries. I think I've covered everything. I hope I've covered everything. Let me have a little think before I shut you all down and send you all on your way. There are certain protocols in all the Zoom sessions with muting and so on. You will have moderators to explain that to you. Some of our sessions will have Q&A, some won't. It depends on timing. We're trying not to overload people with very long sessions. So if there isn't Q&A, you can go to the speaker afterwards and ask your questions. I think the one other thing I wanted to mention is that over the past year, since last year's conference, I have become part of a team together with 3 other home educating parents, Joe Sweetland, Matt Harris, and Sean Lowe. And we are working on a website for home educators, which we hope will be a place where people can find community as well. So the Streams website, you will see at 2:30 there is a launch party. So that is just really an informal, come and find out what it's all about. It gave us an opportunity to kind of have people to talk about and also to hear what the needs of people are and what people would like to see on such a website. So that's at 2:30, and you can go and pop in there and meet the team. I will be popping in there too. But other than that, we have our keynote speech at 4 p.m. with Dr. Brian Ray. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say, I don't think I did it this time, but most days I will send out links, direct links for the Zoom sessions, because sometimes Hoover can cause issues. And I did mean to send that out today, but I think my head, obviously my head was somewhere else, you know, but I will send that out. And so I do ask, please do not share these links outside of conference. We do need to pay our speakers for their contribution, especially those that have had to sort of make special arrangements to join us. And, you know, we want to make sure we can be generous with them as well. So I'll send out the links now quickly for the coming sessions as well. But thank you very much, everybody. I look forward to getting to know some of you a lot better, those that I don't know already. And I hope you all make lots of friends and just enjoy our great Learn Free community. If anyone, I want to also say the other thing that I'm happy to also let people unmute and give a little shout before we all go off. So if anyone wants to do a little shout out, go for it now. We can unmute everybody maybe. Where's that one? Oh, that's up there, that's why. There we go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very excited to be here.
Great.
Greetings from the United States.
Welcome, Mickey.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, actually, quickly, why don't you all shout out if you're from anywhere else in the UK? Let's have a shout out. Where are you from?
Oxford.
Leicester.
Hinkley.
Peterborough.
Sleaford.
Devon.
Essex. Cambridge.
Okay, and our non-UK participants, we've got Australia, and Mickey's from the United States.
New York City.
Yeah, we're thrilled to have you with us, Mickey. As I said, my favorite is Trinidad and Tobago, so look out for that lady too and give her a big welcome. That's very exciting to me. So we've gone international fully now, folks. Okay, great. Thanks. We'll see you around.
Thank you.
Thanks.